Beep, beep, beep was the first thing I heard in the morning, and it was my alarm clock going off. I jump up out of bed and stumble down the hall to the bathroom. I'm headed off to my mom's court date. Whenever we get to the courthouse, we're not there but maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and I all of a sudden feel something wet. I rush to the bathroom, and as soon as I get into the bathroom, I realize from the waist down, I am just soaking wet. And I run back, and I tell my fiancé, I think it's time. I think we need to go to the hospital. It's time for the baby to be born. So I give my mom a kiss goodbye, and I tell her what's going on. We jump in the truck, and we head home to get our things for the hospital. And I call my doctor, and I tell him that we are on our way. I think my water just broke. He said he would meet us there, and he would call ahead to tell them that we are on our way. We arrive to the hospital. Our doctor hasn't called yet, so they have to call him before we could go back. My contractions are getting stronger and stronger. They finally tell us we can go back, so they show us where the labor and delivery room is, and they show me my room. They give me a gown to put on and tell me to put it on and get in bed and relax. I get in bed, and as soon as I do, the nurse comes in and tells me she's going to check me. When she checks me, I am about 3 centimeters dilated. She starts to hook me up to an IV and tells me that in about 30 minutes they're going to hook me up to Pitocin to get my labor to go faster. Well, 30 minutes go by, and the nurse comes back in and checks me again. I'm still at a 3. So they hook me up to Pitocin, and about 30 minutes to an hour after being on that Pitocin, my contractions start coming harder and faster. Well, my fiancé is right there by my side holding my hand, and I beg him to go get the nurse because I feel the urge to push. Well, she comes in to check me, and she says I'm not quite fully dilated yet and I can't push. So she leaves the room and says she'll be back in about 30 minutes to check me. Well, she comes back in, and I'm still not fully dilated, so she leaves again. My fiancé is by my side, and I decided to turn from my back to my side. And as I'm laying there on my side, and he's holding my hand, I get a really bad contraction, and I yank his hand up to my face, and I try to bite him. He pulls his hand away, and he asks, "What are you doing?" And I tell him, "These contractions are just too hard, and I feel the urge to push." So he goes and gets the nurse and tells her again. Well, she comes and checks me, and she says that I'm almost fully dilated. She says, "Why don't we try pushing to see if you're ready?" So I give it one good push, and she looks at me and she says, "I better go get the doctor. I think it's time." So she rushes and gets the doctor, and he comes in, and I push for about 30 minutes, and he tells me that my son's head is really big, so I can either keep pushing and my son will rip me, or I can have an episiotomy. Well, I opt for the episiotomy because I figured reaping would hurt worse. So he does that, and after one big push, my son is in the world. They take him away to weigh him, and he weighs 7 pounds, 14 ounces, and he's 22 inches long. He's a big boy. As soon as I get to hold him for the first time, I just start to cry, and all I can remember is how happy I was to have him, and how hard me and his dad tried for him. That is the best day of my life, and I know I'll never forget it. He is a year old now, and he's such a joy. He's walking and everything. That's it.